How's it going, crew? This is Happy Days, and welcome to a new series. This is a game that's recently just come out called This War of Mine, and look, it's really good. I'm just going to start out by saying that I'm really enjoying it. I've probably played it just for a couple of hours just to get a bit of a feel for it, so I'm not claiming to be any expert. It's still pretty new, but yeah, it's been pretty fun so far. So, we're just going to go through a few basic things to get you off to a really good start early. You've got your three characters down here, and you can see they have like a sub-skill. Each character in the game has one main skill. The characters you get are random when you get started. And the first thing we're going to do is just start clearing up the house a bit. There's actually quite a lot of loot just sitting around. I'm not going to go too much into the loot just yet, but you pretty much, your first day, you just want to walk around and clear up loot piles and stuff like that. You can also just click on the guys to get them to do stuff. So basically, we're in the middle of a war zone. There's no phone lines, there's no power. I think there's a bit of power, but yeah, there's no water, so no running taps and stuff like that. So these guys have just survivors that have banded together, and they're trying to survive in this war-torn world. And it's pretty gritty and real from what I can tell. It doesn't hold your hand, this game. It's pretty rough. And it's a bit of a people management game too. Like you got to look after people's sort of hunger, thirst. Not thirst, hunger, fatigue. People get tired. You have to actually look after their mental health. People get emotionally unstable. Because you have to make some pretty tough calls in this game. So there is a lot of scavenging you need to do. So obviously we're just exploring our own building to start with, but we're only going to get so much supplies out of here. It's very finite. So the characters, they get confronted with having to do some pretty bad stuff. And depending on if you click on their bio thing, just down here, whoops. They haven't got anything yet. Yeah. It gives you a bit of a backstory. I'm not going to read them. You'll get plenty of time to read it if you play it. So it just tells you a little bit about them. It does, this orange thing here tells them if they've got a vice. So this girl likes to drink coffee, Katia. So basically to help keep these characters happy, you can try and find resources of their particular habit. So I think this guy, Bruno, is a smoker. Yeah. So if you can find cigarettes in the game, it's going to keep him a bit happier. They'll do their vice automatically without being told to do it. And this guy, it says he's slightly sick. Pavle seems to start the game sick in all my playthroughs so far. And to help with that, you just need to rest on a bed, which we currently don't have. But we'll go into crafting in just a moment. The first day we really just want to get everything looted in the house that we can get our hands on. Okay, this little icon means the door's locked, but I think it means we've also got a lockpick. So lockpicks don't need lockpick skill, they just seem to work automatically. So I'm impressed the characters can pick a lock without really knowing how to, so that's kind of fun. Alright, we'll go back to Bruno down here. You can get an item called a shovel that speeds up this destroying debris piles quicker. Sometimes you get resources out of debris as well, so... Okay, up here we've got time. At 8 o'clock each night, 8 p.m, it turns into night, and you're confronted with the other half of the game, which is going out and scavenging, which we'll have a look at that very shortly. It's 22 degrees at the moment. And apparently later in the game the temperature drops and you need to keep the characters warm. So I think this cabinet's locked if I remember. Yeah, it's been locked in all my playthroughs, so there's not much you can do there. It's double click somewhere to run, and your characters, they're pretty good at pathfinding. They won't hurt themselves, so don't stress. This is a crafting bench right here. The up arrow with the plus icon is to upgrade the workstation. And there's quite a few different workstations in the game. I can actually upgrade it right now, which is interesting. Now, I haven't fully explored all the crafting trees, but it seems like there's quite a bit to it. So I just clicked on the spanner icon with the up arrow, and this is your crafting menu. Now, with all the resources you get at the start of the game, you can pretty much make most stuff. So there's bed, chair, heater, which I made the mistake of crafting this early. You really don't need it at the start of the game. The radio is a fantastic thing to craft, so I'm going to make one now. And you have to drag around the template to put it somewhere. I usually put it up near the staircase. And the character will go and make it itself. Playing music actually makes the characters a bit happier, and it doesn't require power once you've built it, so very cool thing to build early on. So yeah, there's just a lot of learning involved in this game too. It's almost night time, so I'm not going to get a chance to do much more this first day. Whoops. And there we go. And I think that cabinet might be locked too. So here we go into the first night. You don't have a choice. As soon as it hits 8 o'clock, it's nighttime. So basically, there's a lot of info to take in here, but you get used to it pretty quickly. You've got to decide what you want your 3 characters to do. And I don't have any beds yet, so I'm not going to make them sleep, because sleeping on the floor actually makes them, not too good. So I'm going to put 2 of them on guard duty. Even though the first night's pretty safe, you normally don't get raided the first night. And yes, that means, yes, your house gets raided while you're out and about. The backpack icons, I assume you get more storage later in the game in your backpack. That shows how many item slots they've got. You can only have 1 person out scavenging. Some of the other characters have a scavenging skill, but these are the 3 I just seem to get quite a bit. And then on the map here, you've got some locations. And basically, it gives you in the orange an idea of what's at the location. And that doesn't mean you can get at all this stuff. Some of it's behind locked doors. Some of it's behind guards. Some of it's behind things that you might need a tool to get at. So it's just showing you if you had all the equipment and you could, potentially get past dangerous people, that's what's there. And it gives you an idea of what it is. So it's a shelled cottage. Okay, got shelled, houses are burning, people are fleeing. So this is like your tutorial looting level. So we will be doing that first. I'll just show you the other 2 as well quickly though. So this is a detached house. There's shots fired. And it has the danger icon, which lets you know that there's characters there that will probably attack you on sight. Not always, but it seems like the go. And then we've got a decrepit squat. So just somewhere where homeless people are staying. And homeless people aren't much of a threat. And I think there's a guy there to ask you for help. So we're going to start in the first one. So I've got 2 guys guarding, which means they won't sleep. So they're probably going to get a bit tired after the night. And Katia is going to go scavenge. This option just lets you take an item along, and you're probably thinking, what good is taking some raw food along? No. You can craft things like axes and crowbars and weapons. So later in the game, when you go into more dangerous areas, or when you go into areas that you might need tools, you can take like a crowbar along with you or a gun. I'm not taking anything because I just want to grab as much stuff as possible. And plus I know this first area doesn't have any danger. Okay, so this is the other part of the game. It's a bit stealthy. Your character instantly is in quiet walk mode. The time is running, so you've got that full circle of the timer there to get out. You need to be out of this area by 5 AM or your character will be trapped out for a day. So there's a lot of resources just lying around, and you just click them. You can double click just to pick it up, double click to put it back, or if there's lots of things you can click just take if you want. Or if you want to get all of it, just click grab all, just like that. Now building stuff is super useful early, but stuff doesn't move in locations, so it's probably a little bit of a plot hole in this game. Other looters don't take anything. So you could leave diamond jewelry in here, whatever, medical supplies, no one touches it. So I'm going to leave it there for now, just in case there's better stuff in the house. So it's just wood and components for crafting. So this eye icon before you go into a door, you'll notice you can have a peer in, and your field of vision gets better the longer you look. And then you can just click the door or click past it to open up. Alright. This hand icon means that it can be raided without anyone else getting angry about that. So you can see this has tons of food, which is awesome. Sugar is used to make alcohol, and water is used not for drinking, strangely enough. It's used for cooking and making alcohol and stuff like that. So I'm going to grab all of that. And here's a little nightstand or something like that. Okay, more sugar, some herbs, grab it all. Okay. And there's a little rat running around there. Gonna check this out. Okay, oh, this is a good find. Herbal tablets. So it's medication if a character gets the orange sick debuff, which one of our characters has at the moment. Herbal things are not as good as properly made ones, but they are still better than nothing. Okay, can I get downstairs here? I think I can. Sometimes the game just gives you a little glimpse of things or areas you can go. Alright, so I'll have a quick look down here. We got plenty of time, which is nice. Okay, so I'll remember this for later. It's just got tons of wood here, which I might take, I'm not sure yet. And then to get to that cabinet, I have to get out that rubble out of the way. So I'll just have a quick look upstairs, because clearing rubble takes a little while. Okay, so we're going up here. The house is on fire, but it doesn't seem to hurt you, which is fine. Maybe later in the game, environmental effects come in. I'll talk about that red circle moving around in a moment. Some of you might have already figured out what it is. Okay, tons of crafting stuff. And let's have a peer through the door. Make sure no bad people are there. No. And it's locked. And if I had a crowbar or a lockpick, I could get in there. Okay, that red circle is showing movement noise. And we know it's just a little rat, which is fine. It does the same thing if it's a rat or a person or whatever. So yeah, so just let you know if someone's moving around. So it's a little rat, it's out on an adventure. So what I'm going to do, and what you can do in locations, really good tip, is actually go back to the start. Most starts usually have a loot pile. And what you can actually do is start transferring all the stuff in the location to the front loot piles. And then when you're leaving, you can decide what you actually want to take with you. So just dropping it all off. And then go back inside and sort of grab more stuff. And you might think, oh, you're double handling, this is a waste of time. But in some of the bigger locations, it can actually help speed things up a bit. So I've cleared that out. It's demolished itself. It's saying there's something out here, but I think I need to, yeah. Alright. So you can craft an item called a shovel that can move these loot piles quite a bit quicker. I think it speeds it up by about 10-15 seconds or so. So it is worth it, especially when you can see how quickly the time is going past. So what is it? 10 minutes is about 10 seconds maybe? Yeah, 10 minutes, 10 seconds. So I've got till 5 a.m. So I've got what, about, not long. What's that? 4.5 hours. No, 3.5 hours. Only about 3 minutes left in this location. So I probably won't get to that downstairs area, but that's okay. I think there's some weapon parts hidden here. So yeah, this is pretty much a general looting run. Sometimes there's characters walking around. Some are passive. Some will, ask you not to steal even though you're stealing. Some will attack you. And some are just downright hostile and they attack you on sight. So yeah, you really have to, you get a feel for it. Okay, we're almost through the debris. Or the rubbish pile. That icon means another exit out of here. So we're going to check this little pile in the backyard here. Okay, what do we got? Got some good different stuff. Tobacco. Some roll-up cigarettes, so that's for Bruno. He'd like those. Fertilizers used for growing plants and veggies later in the game. Weapon parts. Books. Characters will read books if they've got spare time during the day. Electrical parts are used to make the radio and more of the advanced stuff later in the game. So that is something I could leave for a little bit. So let's just taking lots of stuff. I can't take the book. Alright, I'll leave the electrical over the book. Okay, so time's getting a bit short here. You'll notice a big circle coming off Katia while she's running. That's sound being projected off. So people upstairs would have heard me running if there was anyone there. Okay, so again, just dropping everything off. And I'm not going to have time to clear the other loot pile, so I need to decide what I want to take back. And I'm thinking, first night, we need to make beds, so that's going to take components and wood. So let's fill our top bar with wood. And our bottom, our top bar with components and our bottom bar with wood. Now, I think I also found some food. So I might sub out a few things for some food as well. So I'll leave the meds for now. I don't really need those. You can also see things have max stack piles. So food maximum stack is 4. Weight seems to be irrelevant in this game, so I can... wood weighs the same as like a little piece of meat. Okay, so components, some food, and some wood. And I'm just going to leave early. So you can just click run to exit if you want your character to leg it. So as I said, if you don't make it out by 5 o'clock, your character's stuck out for the day and you can't use them. There's a chance they can get injured. The war's going on during the day, obviously. And that's a typical game cycle in the day. So now we're back. Everyone's probably going to be a bit tired. So we're actually going to set up some beds and set up a little kitchen stove and do some cooking. If you played the Flash game Rebuild on Newgrounds, or it's even an app now, I think, it has a daily log after each night, which I thought this was a really cool feature in this game too. So it lets you know if you've been raided or not. The first night is always, in my experience, calm. Let you know what you looted and if anyone was hurt. Okay, and you can see our characters are getting hungry and tired. So we're going to get crafting straight away. Anyone can build anything. There doesn't seem, in my experience so far, there doesn't seem to be any crafting ability difference. So we're going to get some beds happening. Alright, so we're going to make it. And I usually just chuck it straight here. And they'll literally just walk over and start making it. I'm going to use the radio and turn it on straight away. And some of you may not have used radios like this before. These are old dial ones that, unlike digital radios, you had to actually tune it analog, like old TVs too. So you just turn the dial. When you see a solid white light, it means you've got a channel to tune into. So you can let go, let you know, there's just info. Let you know what's happening in the city. I think there's 3 or 4 main channels. This is the music one. You usually leave it on this. It gives the characters a mood boost. And then we've got a weather PM channel. Weather FM. So it's normally pretty warm at the start of the game. And that's it. So the music channel is usually around the middle. Okay, so music's playing. Usually classical stuff that's very befitting of the game. Okay, I'm going to get Bruno to actually set up a kitchen stove in here. Here we go, he's running around, legging it. Okay, so a crude stove lets you start cooking. Cooking food gives more, it fills you up more than just eating raw stuff. I don't know if you can get sick from raw food, but I wouldn't want to be eating it. Alright, so Pavle's made a bed. So you can just click lay down. And it doesn't matter if you're making noise around him. He doesn't care. Okay, I'm going to get Katia. Oh, is that still locked? Damn it. I normally put a second bed in there. Oh well. I'll get her to make another bed in here. That's cool. Alright, so I'll get her to make a bed. You can get away with just 2 beds at first because you don't normally have 3 people resting at once at the start. Okay, so this is the stovetop here. So, to get started, you need consumables or fuel. And I'll give you a hot tip. I'm finding at the start, fuel is sold really cheaply by most traders, and yet it's quite expensive to make. Not expensive, like it only uses like pieces of wood or components, but you know, you really need them for crafting or books. Whereas if you buy it just off a trader, you can get them really cheaply. So anyway, wood seems to have components, it uses 4 at a hit in one hit, which I don't feel is as a good value because you can get 2 wood in 1 stack. So you're getting 2 fuel for 1 stack, or yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, I'll make 2 fuel for now. So you can actually make it at the stove. So we've got Pavle resting. You can see it says recovering there. So if people are ill or wounded, they can actually recover if they lie down. It doesn't seem to be a massive boost, but it's better than standing up. Okay, there's a second bed. So we'll get her to lie down for a bit, Katia. And now we can actually cook. Alright, so you need water, fuel, and meat, obviously. If you've got vegetables, which I'm having trouble finding them at the moment, you can actually make 2 portions. So you get 2 meals out of 1 meat if you do that. It uses a bit more water. It uses more fuel until you upgrade the stove. So if you click on the upgrade menu here, it looks like a more modern looking stove. Actually, I can upgrade it now. Should I upgrade now? Whoa. It's a tough choice, and the game gives you really tough choices. Like, you know, you can see it's using most of my materials to upgrade this. But then for the rest of the game, like, it's only going to cost me 1 fuel to cook the advanced recipes. So you just got to decide, like, what do you really want to focus on? I'm actually going to go for it. Because fuel is really hard to come by at first because you have to use your crafting materials to get fuel. Because you rarely find it just lying around. So I'm upgrading the stove straight away. Okay, my other characters are lying down at the moment, having a bit of a chill out, bit of a rest. Okay, the characters will let you know if they need something. So you can see the stovetop, it can't be upgraded anymore. So we'll get cooking. And you can see when I click on the dual food now, it only uses one fuel. So if I had meat right now, I could actually cook it. So anyway, let's make 2 portions of food. Get Bruno to cook. If you've got him, he's a good cook. It means he uses less resources to cook meals. And yeah, and then there's a little food icon when you go near the stove. They can't be stolen if you get raided, so that's useful too. And then Bruno will eat that. And you can see he lost the hungry buff. Alright. So, look, it's halfway through the second day. I'm just looking at time. I'm just going to end the episode there. Just different videos, different games have different file sizes. So I'm just sort of sizing up, you know, how big a file will be for this game. So, leave a like if you've enjoyed this, you found it helpful. Next video, we'll go through sort of getting some of the other advanced workshops, getting some weapons, and yeah, just keep playing the game. I'm really loving it. It's a fun game. And yeah, where are my cigarettes? If I had cigarettes, you'd probably have a smoke right now. All right, thanks for watching. Stay happy. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. It's Happy Day signing out.